We are here for the 2022 Vortex PRS finale, but we've got that to look forward to. Not quite there yet because today is setup day. We've learned a bunch of things over the years of setting up PRS matches. We continue to learn things. So this is a bit of a list of some of the things that maybe help you set up a match in future. And also, if you've got some other ideas and stuff that you found really useful, leave them in the comments. We would love to know, because anything we can do to make this a little bit easier would be great. We've also got some help today. This guy's setting up the range for us as well. So I'll let him do his job, and we are going to kick off with having a plan. Number one thing is to make sure you have a plan. And this plan here is prepared by the match director, Trent, and it shows me all the targets I need down there, all the lanes they need to be in, and all the positions we're shooting on from here. This makes life so much easier, and to have it written out as a separate plan is so much easier than working through a matchbook. It shows me all the barricades I need, in which locations I need them, and where the targets all are, how far they should be, and what size they are, and how they should be framed as well. So this is a plan. Start with a plan. It is a really good place to start. Let's kick on. Next step is going to be using our plan to work out our sort of shooting lanes and our firing positions. So this particular match for day one, I've got 5 different positions, and so this bay, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that is going to be used for this particular position. Now, one of the things I'm going to set up here is I'm going to grab one of these benches. We're going to tip it up on its side. So in this instance, I'm using a bench, sometimes a whiteboard, sometimes a piece of core foot, something along those lines. We'll talk about why that is later, something nice and big and flat, but it also indicates to me this is position number 5. I'm going to do that for the rest of the range. I've also got a bunch of benches there, I'm going to clean them off as well. So let's carry on with that. One important thing to remember that doesn't necessarily make it onto a normal match setup is looking after yourself. These are often long days and the start of a big weekend. Lack of sleep and often a big drive. Make sure you look after yourself. Some good water, some good snacks as well. And don't forget, sunscreen. It sucks getting burnt on the first day. Another thing to have that is very useful is a target repair kit. This one is the one I use. It could just be a bunch of tools in a ute. It could be something far more elaborate than this, but I'll take you through some of the things that I find important for our setup. I had a couple of drivers, drill and driver, that allow me to take off the target bolts really quickly and easily. They're good. Got a conversion, got a couple of spare ones in there as well. Got a conversion to be able to run if we need to fix up a barricade or something along those lines. Also, got an angle grinder, if things get a bit serious. We also cut the hose down, that works well. Also, got an array of various hardware. These to fix up all the targets, some sort of long bolts, short bolts, all the different options, some big shackles as well. Some paint, if you're into painting targets, some people do, some people don't. Paint in there as well. Got a shifter, got a spanner, it's all set up. And then just your general accessories to keep these things going as well. It's all in a relatively small kit that you can throw into the back of the ute or the side of the van for me. Depending on the type of targets you use and the frame setups you use, you can customise one of these things to fit your range or your setup. But this one works fairly generically with a lot of gear. We've got a few targets we need to put some straps on, so we'll use that back here before we go down range.
Yeah, that's it.
So earlier in the video, we put some tables up when we were setting up the shooting line, up on their fronts. Now those flat areas are pointing towards us. Makes for a really good ranging opportunity. Ideally, it can be hard if you're down there trying to range off a small target out here. So we put up those larger sort of boards down there, the benches on their sides, and from the target area, we can range back to the particular bench or area we're going to be shooting from. This one is lane 4. Which will be that bench there, the grey one. And we are at 384. Another little trick we like to do is, this is a 2-day match, and so the targets are a little bit different on day 1 and day 2. So I've set up this frame here for day 1, just one target on there. And I've got day 1, 190mm target here. Come around the back, you see here on day 2, this frame needs to move to the 500 metre, and then we've got a KYL rack going up on here. Those targets are sitting right down there ready to roll. To be able to put that on there and move it back a little bit further. And make sure when you leave the targets down here, makes it obviously a lot easier to do that, but make sure you don't put them directly underneath. Anywhere they're going to cop shrapnel. A little bit off to the side works really well. When putting targets out, it can be really useful to do it in a team of two. So Ian is up there, we've put all the frames up, got some of the targets on those frames, but all the frames are in the approximate distances. Now what I'm going to do from here is be able to see the shooting lanes, make sure that these target frames don't cover each other, so we got a clear picture of each frame. And then I can give Ian some points as to like move a particular frame. So we're going to start in lane 1. Let's have a little look. Alright Ian, so in lane 1, the furthest target's good, the second target's good, but the closest target frame needs to go about 30 metres to the left.
Roger that, yeah, no problem mate.
Another important thing when setting up targets is that remembering that if you're standing there or resting on the pole with binos to measure it, make sure it's aligned, all that sort of gear, that's not the shooting position or the shooting angle that you're using. It's really important to be able to actually look from where you will be shooting. So for example, you might see it standing here, you drop down to prone, there might be something in between, a little bit of a rise in the range or something on those lines might interfere with it. We run this, it's just a basic timber stock with a Picatinny rail on there, with a scope on there, a spotting scope on the ground works well, binos down on a bag, something along those lines. Really important to be able to check the angle, make sure you can see the target from where you're actually shooting it. Let's do that now. Yeah, all good. 2, 3, 4. One of the main reasons we use this is because currently the range isn't live and we have people down there, you know, fixing up the targets and doing things. So certainly a much better way of doing it with something you can pull out at any time. Barricades play a big role in our sport. We always try and make them as stable as we can. Sometimes, you know, they degrade over time or they're not sort of built as well as they could be. Sometimes all it takes is a few extra screws, an extra piece of timber. You can make that barricade a lot more stable than it was, particularly if it's been kicking around the range for a little while. So I'm going to firm these ones up and yeah, pay a little bit of attention. Doesn't take a lot to make it a little bit better. Setup is done for the 2022 Vortex PRS finale. Thanks for watching along. If you have some additional tips to add to this list, chuck them in the comments below. We'd be interested to see what you come up with. Good luck setting up your next PRS match. We'll see you out there. I'm actually just going for something. Capturing all the best bits, huh?
Yeah. All the best bits.